effects. So that's how we do phase 3 clinical trials. Okay. For now, the available side effects are very minimal.
Dr. Siedu Bekoin, however, says there's not enough evidence to prove the efficacy of the 2 new vaccines against a new variant of coronavirus. Now, in terms of efficacy, how effective are these 2 vaccines against the new variant of COVID-19, like the Delta variant in particular?
Well, I think that these are early days yes, to talk about these new vaccines against this Delta virus. Because I think that the Delta virus has been tested against, I would say, the proven vaccines. These are newer vaccines, so we don't have that kind of information for now.
Okay, now in terms of, let's now talk about the Delta variant in particular. How is the rate of transmission like? What are the symptoms should one contract the Delta variant of the coronavirus?
So I think that the difference between this Delta variant and the others is that it's more efficient in terms of transmission. It's also very high in terms of severity of the disease that will lead to mortalities or deaths. So clearly, in terms of the presentation, it's not very much different. So we're having your respiratory symptoms and other systemic symptoms, diarrhea, cough, difficulty breathing. I mean, basically, it's not very much different. The only difference is that this one is more efficient in transmission and it has very high severity of the disease.
Well, some Ghanaians on the streets of Accra are reluctant as they continue to disregard COVID-19 protocols put in place by the stem to the spread of the virus. Desmond Dasso has been speaking to some of them on the streets of Accra.
In the wake of the new COVID-19 strain, I am here at Circle to speak to some Ghanaians to understand from them if they know about this, and also the relaxations in terms of the adherence to the safety protocols. Why are people not wearing the nose mask anymore? Why are they not using their hand sanitizers? Why are they not observing the social distancing protocols? I'll speak to some Ghanaians and get some reactions from them.
No. People are tired of the protocol because they believe that COVID-19 is not in Ghana. And so they relax. Maybe because of the fact that our leaders too are not adhering to it. Look at the recent John funeral. What happened there? I mean, it was quite surprising. I mean, head of states not even adhering to that. So, and that's supposed to serve as an example for us to be able to copy from them. So if they are not doing it, how much more the ordinary citizenry? So that is it.
We need to educate more. You see, the whole thing is centered within the big cities, Accra, Kumasi, and all those things. But we have to go to the interior. Every morning, all the radio stations and the media, that should be your first beacon call on the radio, whether a pastor is coming to preach or not. He should. That's so that the education will go far.
Since the protocols are no more in process, I feel there's no COVID-19. People do say it's gone and then it's not in the system again. So that's myself, I don't think it's in the system. Since day one, I don't think it's in the system. I never thought. At first, you know, the protocols were very hard on us. If you sit in the car and the policeman sees you, they'll be like, oh, where is your nose mask? Where is this? Where is that? You go to places without nose masks, you don't enter. But now you can go anywhere without your nose mask. So I feel it's coming down. People feel it's coming down too.
Because the pandemic has been with us for quite a long time, and people feel because of the longevity of the period, that's why they've relaxed their using their face masks or even adhering to the protocols.
COVID is still around, obviously. I mean, my mask, so yeah. And then it's like everyone is taking it easy of late. You don't even see the Veronica buckets around, and the nose masks too. Some are wearing, some too are not wearing. Yeah, me like this, when I heard of it, I'm like, no, it's not going now. So that's why I'm still in my mask, yeah.
I think we Ghanaians should obey the protocols and other things because it's really around, and mostly the car that I took today, half of the people in the car were not wearing nose mask. They think that the COVID is gone, but it's still around.
I used to watch BBC and Michelle, I mean, we say like Kosovo, and the crowd, they said about 500,000 people are dead in Brazil also, yeah. And because of that, I'm living with my way into whether GDC or just you have to boost your system with necessary stuff that's needed. And this one is lime water. I used to take it every morning and evening. You understand? When it happens that way, I get okay.
Away from that, the West African Examination Council, WAEC, has debunked claims that the 2020 West African Senior School Certificate Examination questions were leaked before the exams. According to the head of public affairs at WAEC, Agnes Tekujo, the methodology used by the Africa Education Watch in its assessment of the 2020 West African Senior School Certificate Examination in Ghana is not credible. The examination body says it may consider legal action against the Africa Education Watch over the allegations.
Africa Education Watch on Wednesday, June 16, 2021, launched a report that sought to give an independent assessment of the 2021 West African Senior School Certificate Examination in Ghana. Among the many anomalies cited by the report on the exams included the leakage of question papers before the exam, malpractices by invigilators, and leakage of examiners' list details. Speaking to these issues, however, the head of Public Affairs in the West African Examination Council debunked claims that the questions were leaked.
There were no actual questions that were leaked. Our press statement of August 19, 2020 indicated that several fake versions of questions, including those of Integrated Science 2 and 1, Social Studies 2 and 1, Chemistry 3, that's Practical Alternative A, and Economics 2 and 1 papers, were shared on social media platforms. And we still stand by that statement.
She acknowledged the leakage of names of examiners but explained that no other information about these examiners were in the public domain.
EduWatch did not engage the council in order to be better informed about what its processes and procedures are before coming to its conclusions and making its recommendations. The said circulated list, unfortunate as it was, did not include the critical information regarding which scripts the examiners would be marking, etc. The council indicated then that it had initiated investigations into the development and assured the public that steps incorporated in the marking exercises over the years ensured fairness.
Head of Legal Affairs at the West African Examination Council, Reverend Victor Brew, said the council may consider legal action against Africa Education Watch.
All options are on the table, so all things are possible, including a legal suit. So these are things that management has to reflect on and then strategize regarding such a step. So don't be surprised if there is such a thing that comes up.
The council added that WAEC is committed to organizing credible examination and would accept innovative ideas from Ghanaians that would make the institution better.
Let's get on to Zoom now and speak to the Executive Director of the Africa Education Watch, Kofi Asare. Thanks so much for your time on Newsnight. Now, the West African Examination Council has debunked portions of your report that says that some examination questions were leaked. How do you react to this?
Good evening, and good evening to your cherished audience. We have gone past discussions about leaks. Everybody in Ghana knows what happens when leaks occur. WAEC never admits, and then we see everything. WAEC themselves issued a statement on the 19th of August. On page 2, clause 3 of that statement, they themselves indicated that there was a leakage in the core maths paper. We did not write that press statement. It was WAEC. It was in that same press statement that they admitted that examiners' contact details had leaked. So we don't expect WAEC to accept whatever they are saying, because they are used to a system where they are the judge, and they are everybody. They are the plaintiff, defendant, and judge. They've always been the judge in their own court. WAEC has no regulator. They operate within a virtual monopoly. They conduct examinations and come and tell us it was credible when we are all aware our questions were flying everywhere. So they are not used to this oversight, civil society oversight that we are bringing to bear. But our focus is not on WAEC. Our focus is on the assessment system at the pre-tertiary level. We are committed to supporting government through the Ministry of Education to implement reforms that will strengthen the quality of assessment and improve the credibility of the assessment processes, not only of WAEC, but because we are advocating for a breaking of the monopoly so that other actors, international actors, reputable assessment bodies can come into the space, compete, and then enhance the quality of assessment in Ghana. We have come to this stage because in the past 15 years, there has been virtually annual reports of leakages. If you read WAEC's own registrar's annual report of 2013, and I'm quoting from the report, the 2013 WAEC's registrar report, it says that the war against examination fraud has assumed criminal dimensions and is too stressful, dangerous, and expensive for examining bodies to prosecute alone. This is WAEC. This is WAEC in 2013, not Education Watch. So we are talking about examination fraud that has been going, that has reached a certain crescendo since 2005, when mobile phone penetration, increased. And since the proliferation of mobile phones and social media, technology has overtaken WAEC. That is why we are seeing an expansive scale of questions leaking. It is not necessarily WAEC's fault. It is actually a systemic issue because the questions actually leak when they leave WAEC's depot. So I don't understand this overly defensive posture of WAEC. We are all committed to strengthening the system and purging it of any leakage, making it fair and credible. And that is the objective behind our report, which we submitted to the Ministry of Education. But let me say that WAEC is saying that we did not inform them, we did not contact them. Well, on the 11th of June, we sent WAEC a final draft of the report, and we requested for their input and their comments. WAEC, in a letter dated on the same 11th of June, made only one comment, and the comment they made was that they wanted us to change the title of the report from WAEC Report. The title then was the WAEC Report. So we changed it from the WAEC Report to 2020 WASI Report, Independent Assessment by Africa Education Watch. That was the only comment we received from WAEC when we sent them the report for their input. For 5 days, that was the input they made. And so it is not entirely correct that WAEC was not consulted or were not given an opportunity to make an input into the report.
Okay, Kofi, you did just say that the overall objective of the African Education Watch is to make a very informative rules or suggestions.
Influence education policies in the assessment sector so that we can improve the quality of assessment.
So WAEC is saying that they have measures in place, of course, to ensure this fairness when it comes to the assessment process. Does it sit well with your organization?
WAEC has always had measures in place since 2005. Every year after the exam, they do press conferences, they put in measures, and we know the results. They've always had measures in place since 2005. So we cannot listen to WAEC's words anymore. That is the challenge. Okay, until we have, because the problem is not a WAEC problem, as I keep explaining to WAEC themselves. The problem is a systemic problem. Questions leave the WAEC depot without leaking. Immediately they leave and get into the custody of the police and then other teachers within the value chain, the questions leak. Okay, so it is not necessarily a WAEC problem, but it is part of their work to ensure that that system is digitized or the human element is removed. So what we are saying is that the responsibility of ensuring that that process is digitized, the responsibility of ensuring that persons arrested for participating in examination fraud are prosecuted, the responsibility for ensuring that there is a regulatory agency in the assessment sector regulating WAEC, NAPTEX, Cambridge, International Baccalaureate, and other international and local examining bodies. All these initiatives are policy initiatives that can only be taken by the Ministry of Education. That is why our guests, our target, our audience in this research is the ministry. And we have been having discussions with the minister on this report. Because we are thinking.
Now, WAEC is threatening legal action against the Africa Education Watch. What have you to say about this?
Well, we are interested in policy reforms. We are interested in influencing policy to improve the quality of assessment to the benefit of Ghanaian children. If WAEC is interested in litigating, that is unfortunate, but they have the right to go to court if they feel injured in any way by our report. I only want to say that in the conduct of this research reports, we have been led only by the public interest and our desire to support His Excellency the President to prosecute his agenda of strengthening the assessment sector, which the Minister of Education has demonstrated enough political will in pursuing. And we will not relent in pursuing this cause until we have a very credible and efficient and effective assessment sector in Ghana.
Kofi Asare, thanks so much for speaking to us on Newsnight. Unfortunately, that's all time it allows us. So I haven't engaged the Executive Director of the Africa Education Watch.
Now, still staying in some education stories, students of Wa Islamic Girls Senior High School in the Upper West Regional on Monday besieged the premises of the regional police headquarters, demanding the release of some 3 teachers and 4 students. The staff and students were arrested earlier in the day, Monday, June 21, following a complaint lodged by a man who was arrested by the school and handed over to the police for alleged robbing and attempting to rape students. Our Upper West Regional correspondent Adam Musa has the rest of the story.
Some staff and students of the school were arrested by the Wa Police Command following an assault complaint lodged by a man who was nabbed by the school. The man, whose name was only given as Sharon, was arrested at the school's campus for an attempted rape and was immediately handed to the Wa Police. He was tied with a rope on his 2 legs before the police arrived and took him away. The Regional Public Relations Officer, Chief Inspector Gideon Boatin, has been narrating what happened to Metro News.
They were not detained as the students. I don't know who engineered the students. And they came here and started throwing stones at the main charge office. So the police stand by, which were there to go for duty. Start the student to go. We didn't arrest anyone, but the way and manner they were throwing the stones and we never here was very bad.
He said the police are currently investigating alleged assault and alleged rape cases and in due course would brief the media.
You're still watching Newsnight here on Metro Television. We go for a break. We'll be back with more stories.
Did you know that cloth handkerchief gets dirty and wet after wiping your sweat or blowing your nose with it? Keeping a dirty handkerchief in your pocket or bag is very unhygienic. Reusing it increases your chances of getting sick from germs. That is why I always use Flora disposable handkerchiefs. Flora disposable handkerchiefs is disposable, thus making it a more hygienic option. It's thick and very absorbent. With 10 tissues in a pack, Flora disposable handkerchief is better than a cloth handkerchief. Mommy, my Flora disposable handkerchief. Look out for Flora toilet roll, Flora multi-purpose paper towels, Flora table napkins, and Flora box tissues in a shop near you. For both purchases, call Delta Paper Mail on 0243 033 033.
Yenim sa whoop football pa. And nothing a high sense as sponsor Euro 2020. Edia Mauno. Nesa sunti na yate TV so say who? Edia Mauno. A high sense Euro 2020 TV super promo. Kahoe kwajo brand new high sense TV and ne board that for. Pictures near clear na color near deep. Sound quality this so dear one it here. High sense TV so dear entry power. About down one access you are. Akona utusa barefoot. If it's 18th June, I call him 11th July. A high sense Euro 2020 TV super promo. And my ref is high sense and Kwan and my 5 years warranty. A high sense Euro 2020 TV super promo. I cost a high sense showrooms. I want Ghana for Nanina. What you would you not say? High sense everyday prices for everyday people. High sense official sponsor at the Euro 2020.
You're welcome back. This is News Night on Metro Television. We are streaming live on Facebook at Metro News. Let's bring you more stories now. Parliament has paid tribute to the late former President Jerry John Rawlings, who would have turned 74 years today. According to MPs, Rawlings will forever be remembered as a man whose leadership was characterized by selflessness, passion, patriotism, and a religious commitment to the pursuit of anti-corruption in the country.
Mr. Speaker, Jerry John Rawlings came, saw, and conquered. His legacy should be one that this House should encourage the youth to emulate. In the end, despite his political ideologies and leanings, our brothers on the other side did not hesitate to court his counsel and friendship. His talismanic political prowess was admired by all.
In 1990, then President Rawlings brought Akosombo power to the Upper East region. That improved the social life of the people and economic activities in the region. And it was not only the Upper East region, in fact, it spread to many other regions of the country, which hitherto did not know what Akosombo power was. This is a legacy of President Rawlings, balanced development to this country.
He did what many could not do after overthrowing a democratic regime. But, Mr. Speaker, in also looking at his legacy, it is important for us to look at the provisions of the Constitution in Article 34(3). We must seriously look at it. Because, Mr. Speaker, the man has come to make his mark in this country, no doubt.
Now to some other news, government statistician Professor Samuel Kobina has assured the House of Parliament that enumerators engaged by the Ghana Statistical Service have been provided with adequate training to ensure that the data they generate from the ongoing National Population Census is true reflection of the reality on the ground and will thus help ensure that the service fulfill its constitutional mandate. The government statistician also dispelled rumors that the engagement of some enumerators was done on partisan considerations.
1,500 applicants for the training and 5,688 as trainers, and we trained them in 1,896 classrooms in all our 272 statistical districts. This activity had few challenges, and some of them are issues surrounding the catering services, some disruptions in the activities as a result of some members of the public thinking that the processes was not transparent enough. Thankfully, the public education that we did over that period calmed some nerves. One of the challenges that we had, which I want to emphasize on, are instances where we had some of our trainees being either physically or verbally assaulted for purposes that they belong to one party or the other. I mean, one political party or the other. For some of the instances, we had to bring in the regional police commander, and a case, as an example, is what we experienced in Tufo, Himailoa, Dentra in the central region. As I indicated, we did have other pockets of instances across our 16 administrative regions. The only reason why we're bringing it here is that census undertaking, or for that matter, data collection, requires that the populace and the policymakers, for that matter, have confidence in the process. That is why from day one, we've urged all statesmen to go out and indicate that census undertaking is a non-partisan and national activity. Honorable members, permit me to further indicate that while we've been able to resolve all these challenges, one of the key dimensions of population and housing census is the decennial characterization of it. So we humbly request all honorable members, as you move into your constituencies, to support publicity, education, and advocacy, to hone in on the fact that once we miss out of this engagement in 2021, whatever data that we're going to collect will be the basis of all the data collection that we're going to conduct in the intercensal period.
The managing director of Ignite Media Group, Kayode Akintami, has paid a courtesy call on the Minister of Information, Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah, to, among other things, discuss the group, which he'd include Metro TV, Original TV, and Original FM, can properly tell the Ghanaian and African story to the rest of the world. During the visit, he expressed interest in collaborating with the Ministry of Information and other ministries to push the developmental journalism agenda that will make Ignite Media Group a major drive in the growth of Ghana and Africa as a continent.
Extremely important that developmental journalism has got to be the direction that we go, and that means that we have to tell government what we feel the people are saying, and when government does something right, we cannot ignore it. It has to be our job and our duty to say government has done well here, so that there is an appreciation of the effort of government and there is an appreciation of the achievement of government, so that everything is not focused on the opposition's perspective of nothing is ever good, because the media is not part of the opposition. The media has got to be a party that is objective, not subjective, that is able to look at it from a higher moral ground and be able to appreciate what is done. So that's what we're looking to do, and that's why we feel very strongly that it's important that now that I am here, that I spend a little bit of time with you to let you know that we are partners in progress. We're here to help you push your agenda, help the Ministry of Information, help the government of Nana Akufo-Addo to push the agenda, and where there are lapses, to help identify it, not with a view to castigate or push it down, but to let it be clear that these things have to be addressed, and when they are, for us to say, well done.
What is our responsibility? Do we want to instill fear or despair within the society, or do we want to be the ones that are always sowing a seed of hope and possibility and encouragement to the society? I watch and listen to shows which start with the message of motivation, and then the rest of the show is all about just sowing despair. But I think that in the conversation of responsibility, you can also look at what is your role, what is your responsibility in helping to build up our children, in helping to build up young people, in helping to build up the society. How do we contribute to the building of the society? So welcome once again. I can only wish you all the best. Our doors are open. We have a number of things that we do to tell the government story and to take feedback. And we'll be more than excited to collaborate with you.
And of course, expect nothing but the best from the Ignite Media Group. It's now time for business, and Winston is standing by. Hello, Winston.
Hello, Ifya.
What's coming up in business?
Indeed. Today we'll be delving on the Momo Agent Association, their prevalent attacks on the operation, and also we understand that on the interbank market, the city seems to be performing well. These and more up next on Business. To our first business story, there have been frequent attacks on mobile money agents in the country, the recent being the killing of a 34-year-old agent in Koforidua in the eastern region. Some of the agents say they no longer feel safe conducting business on the street. They spoke to Metro News.
We are not safe, and with a lot of reasons, we are not safe. Someone might call, they might come physical. And it's a whole lot of things involved in all these things, because we always put our life here every day. It's just that when you come and you go home, you just thank God, because anything can happen at any time, any given day at all. If you haven't experienced anything, doesn't mean they are not looking. They are always looking. They always want to find the right time to attack. So we are not safe.
One.
Okay, one time ago, my boss no more talking, but normally I cook a crama no. So because of senior humanity, I'm a or crying a usro. Time I saw the phone, I didn't cry inside the bapu. Why bonfire say you be protected you higher so every boy in your vendors. Are you who pa is what's your crown? I am show by 6 months open. Sometimes you be could be senior scanner there, but because of signing to me, and that crowd might say, attack will be war, cheer and tell you who am I panty per se. I'm going to be from boy.
I've been hearing other agents being attacked, killed, and myself I've been defrauded twice. So I'm not safe at all, but I'm just praying.
We have been joined on the Zoom by the PRO of the Momo Agents Association, Charles Kwesi Ado, to tell us more. Good evening, Mr. Ado.
Good evening, and thanks for having me.
How bad is the situation for Momo agents at the moment?
My brother, it is worse, not bad. Our people are being attacked day in and day out. And not to remind my colleagues the painful experience of our dear brother Solomon Mahim, a teacher and also an agent. You know, on that very Saturday, we had a conversation, and looking at the way and manner things were going, we've come to the realization that Momo is now the most riskiest business on the surface of this earth, specifically Ghana. Right after that Sunday morning, there was another agent who was also attacked and at Oyibi. And for him, he wasn't lucky. He was attacked by 2 motorbike riders, and they slashed an amount, 69,000 Ghana cedis from him. And they also injured him. As I speak with you, he's dramatized. He has lodged an official case with the Dodowa Police Divisional Command. Okay. And every day in and day out, a lot is happening to us.
Mr. Charles, we understand you have petitioned the IGP on this matter. How has it ended on? What has it said to you?
Like we started early this afternoon. We've already directed the IGP so that we all sit with him and then we mediate the way forward in terms of security for our members. But we've not heard from them. So today we did a follow-up. We were at the police headquarters in Accra to do a follow-up with regards to the letter. And we were made to understand that by close of say Friday, definitely we will hear from the IGP.
Okay, so what have you put in place to protect your members finally before you go?
My brother, for protection, you know, security measures. Because of security, I can't outtear every word that we are putting together as an association. But our national chairman instituted that we should close by 6 o'clock p.m. You know, police have escort with bands, and even at all for them who have police escort, do close at exactly 4:30 or 5 o'clock p.m. And therefore, every corner of this country, mobile money agents are spotted there. So in terms of security, it would be very unwise for me to say that the police should be manned to each agent. It won't be right. And therefore, we are, as an association, are opting that those who are in permanent structures should opt for CCTV cameras, so that should there be any issue of that matter, it will help aid the police in their investigation.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. That was the PR of the Momo Agents Association. Now let's move to Forex. On the interbank board today, the cedi traded against the dollar at the mid-rate of 5 cedi 75 pesos. It traded value against the pound sterling stands at the mid-rate of 8 cedi. Also, the price of crude oil went up on the commodities market today at a unit price of negative 0.40. Coffee also traded at the price of plus $1.35. Cocoa is trading at $2,308. Up next is Forex and commodities. That's all for business here on News 9. My name is Winston Taki. Bana Entry and Ifya is standing by for the rest of the news.
All right, Winston, thanks so much for the business update. You go for a break and attention with more. Do stay.
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room sets, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
32-watt safe fast charge system with 2-for-1 certification. 90Hz superfluid display. 6.95-inch Full HD+. MediaTek Helio G95 processor, unbeatable gaming experience. Infinix Note 10 Pro, faster and smoother.
There's still News Night on Metro Television, and my colleague Johnny is in the studio with sports. Hello, Johnny.
Hi, my brother. How are you?
Good.
We're talking of the Ghana Premier League that will build up to the Olympic Games. Bad news coming from Kampala regarding the Olympic Games. More up next. My name is Phil John Quarter. Let's start with the Ghana Premier League, which is set to start tomorrow and Thursday throughout the various centers in the country. Accra has to focus Longhorns against Legon Cities at Accra Sports Stadium on Thursday, and the Legon Knights are bent on beating the Phobians. Bashir Hayford is the head coach.
So many people have talked about this coming match. Some are terming it to be extraordinary. Some are even using the word super extraordinary. But me as a coach, I know that it's just one of the matches that we are playing. Because when you are going to war and you think that the war is above you, then don't go at all. So we are taking this team match as a normal match. We are going into this game seriously because, as I started by saying, we didn't start well. And so where we anticipated will not be where we are reaching now. But at the same time, we have to redeem our images, as my player said. And so, yes, we are not going in as an underdog. We are going in as an equal opportunity, fighters. And so, at the end of the game, I think the best team will carry the day.
Away from that, let's focus on boxing, and the former president of the Ghana Boxing Authority, Samuel Kaptan, has expressed worry about the performance of Ghanaian boxers and the quality of trainers in recent times, saying the scenario will halt the development of the sports if not checked.
It's good for all trainers, managers, and also the GBA, because they are here. We collaborate with them. They sanction the fight. We sanction and they sanction the local fight here. Now approve the fight. So if there's a boxer who's going to fight, he's not fit, they shouldn't allow it. They should be strict. They should let them train. The boxers don't want to train. The trainers don't train them well. And most of the trainers too don't know how to train. I'm saying it bluntly. The promoters are doing their best. Some of the managers are doing well, their best. And they don't get their money back. They fall on the wayside. Now Agbeko is going to fight. He's #1 in the world. He started defending. When I say you should defend, they cry foul. Oh, no, we've been defending. I say you defend. He has become #1. And he's going to Britain to fight for the international title, WBO. If he wins, then automatically mandatory. He fights the champion. So it's always good for you boxers, managers, trainers especially, to be strict on your boxers.
From Accra in West Africa, let's go to Asia and focus on the preparations for the Olympic Games, because a member of the Ugandan Olympic team that arrived in the Japanese capital Tokyo ahead of the start of the Games has tested positive.
Due to start on July 23rd. The event was postponed last year, but is now going ahead despite a fresh wave of COVID-19 cases in Japan. Uganda is also experiencing a surge in cases, which forced the government to tighten lockdown measures on Friday. The unnamed Ugandan was part of a 9-member squad who had all been fully vaccinated, reports said. The group, which included boxers, coaches, and officials, had also tested negative before leaving Uganda. However, one of them tested positive on arrival at Tokyo's Narita Airport on Saturday and was quarantined at a government-designated facility. Japanese officials were quoted by local media as saying the rest of the squad left by chartered bus for Osaka in Western Japan were there to train ahead of the Games. The Ugandans were the second group of foreign to arrive for training ahead of the competition. The Australian women's softball squad arrived on June 1st. Foreign spectators have been banned from the Olympics. A decision is expected to be taken on Monday. Spectators.
Well, bad news for the team from Kampala as one of them tests positive for COVID-19. That's your sports. My name is Phil John Quarte. Back to Ifia and Nana for the rest of the news.
Phil, thanks so much for bringing the sports update. It's now time for entertainment, and Dennis Desmond is standing by. All right, let's go for a break, and we'll return to bring the latest in entertainment.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
The search for a reliable partner in dealing with your U-turn bus needs has been made easier and convenient with SA Automobile. SA Automobile, formerly U-turn Ghana Limited, has been in the business of offering quality U-turn products and services at competitive rates. At SA Automobile, our team of expert staff, management, engineers, and mechanics professionally deal in the sale of U-turn buses, genuine spare parts, its repairs and maintenance at a highly effective workshop with remarkable speed. We also have available the sale of Camel car batteries, Chai and Kia spare parts, Zonton coaches and light-duty vehicles for everyday movement. Contact us on 020 000 0831 or 054 555 You can also email us info@saautomobilegh.com or visit our website at www.saautomobilegh.com. SA Automobile, the pleasure of doing business with you is all ours.
And it's time for entertainment here on News Tonight. I'll be back after this. My name is Desmond Okreko. Now let's get into the details. Some new music and Ghanaian rapper and a member of Hip Life group R2B's Faisal Hakim, known in showbiz as Omar Sterling, or Payday the Problem, has released his much anticipated solo album, Same F Different Worlds. The album was released earlier today across all digital platforms.
When there's clarity, the vibe's different. Inferiority complex make you keep your distance.
That 20-track album, since its release earlier in the day, has thrown social media into a state of frenzy, with lots of music lovers excited about the new project. Fans of the rapper had been waiting patiently on the release of the album after it had been postponed twice. The album features acts like his group member Mogies, Manifest, Kwesi Arthur, Efia, and Hamodest. The songs on the album include A Mountain Full of Gold, Makola Dreams, Okonsang, Young, Wild and Free, Temamoto Way to a Flower, and several others. Makola Dreams, which features Manifest, has quickly become a fan favorite and has been in the top trends on Twitter all day.
We targeting the market, Makola Dreams, Makola.
And definitely Makola Dreams trending on Twitter all day with the new album from Omar Sterling. Now let's go to America, and American musician Chris Brown is being investigated for battery after a woman alleged he slapped her so hard that her weave flew off. The 32-year-old rapper is said to have been named as the suspect in the battery report when officers were called to his San Fernando Valley home.
Brown, 32, slapped her and made part of a weave come out. TMZ reports. Police took out a battery report and named Brown as the suspect. According to TMZ, which broke the story, law enforcement was called to the musician's home over the weekend, where the alleged victim told police she had been slapped. In the report, the man told officers that he allegedly smacked the back of her head so hard her weave came off. However, the alleged victim had no injuries and no arrests were made. The recent
Arena's entertainment updates. Next is international news. Some security forces have abandoned their posts across the frontier as the Taliban seizes Sheikh Khan Bandar. The Taliban has captured Afghanistan's main border crossing Kyrgyzstan. An Afghan provincial official and army officer has said on Tuesday, with some security forces abandoning their posts and fleeing across the frontier.
The city of Sheikh Khan Bandar in the far north of Afghanistan, about 50 kilometers from the Kunduz city, is the most significant gain for the Taliban since it stepped up operations on May 1 when the U.S. began the final stage of its troop withdrawal.
That's our time, the love of this edition of Newsnight on Metro Television. We came to you from the Kia Boahema City here at North Region. My name